Ravi Sharma, a retired schoolteacher living in a remote village, saw the struggles of underprivileged children who had never known the joy of learning. Haunted by their plight, he made a bold decision to use his modest pension to build a free school for the children of his village. With determination and sacrifice, he laid the foundation of Shiksha Sagar, teaching tirelessly and igniting hope in young minds. Despite challenges, Ravi's unwavering commitment transformed lives, turning dreams into reality. His humble initiative grew into a beacon of education and opportunity, proving that one person's compassion could change the future of an entire community. Ravi's journey is a testament to the profound impact of selflessness and the transformative power of education. The quiet village of Ramapur was nestled in a remote corner of the countryside, where dusty roads crisscrossed fields and the echoes of modern life barely reached. For decades, the village had struggled with poverty, and one of the biggest casualties of this hardship was education. The children of Ramapur, bright-eyed and full of potential, often spent their days working in the fields or helping their families, unable to afford the luxury of schooling. At the heart of this village lived Ravi Sharma, a retired schoolteacher in his early 70s. Ravi had spent his life teaching in a government school in the nearby town, dedicating himself to nurturing young minds. Now retired, he lived alone in a modest house, his wife having passed away years ago, and his children settled far away in cities. While he could have spent his twilight years resting, Ravi was haunted by the sight of the children in his village, barefoot and carrying heavy loads instead of books. One evening, as Ravi sat on his porch, watching the sun dip below the horizon, he overheard a conversation between two young boys passing by. They spoke about their dream of going to school, of learning to read and write, but lamented that it was impossible because their families couldn't afford the tuition fees in the nearby town. Their words pierced Ravi's heart. That night, as he stared at the faded photographs of his students from years past, an idea began to form. What if he could build a school right here in Ramapur? A school that didn't charge fees, where children could learn without worrying about the burden it placed on their families. But the question loomed, how would he fund such an endeavor? Ravi's entire life savings consisted of his modest pension and a small sum he had tucked away over the years. It wasn't much, but as he sat at his desk going over his finances, he realized that it might be enough to lay the foundation for his dream. It wouldn't be easy. It wouldn't be luxurious. But it would be a start. The next morning, Ravi set out to share his idea with the villagers. He called for a meeting in the open field near the banyan tree, where villagers often gathered for discussions. At first, many were skeptical. A school? Here. Who will teach? How will it run? They asked. Ravi explained his plan. He would use his pension to build a small school with a couple of classrooms. He would teach the children himself, and if others were willing, they could volunteer to help. Slowly, his enthusiasm began to infect the villagers. Parents who had long dreamed of giving their children a better future saw a glimmer of hope in Ravi's idea. Within weeks, construction began. It was a humble effort, with bricks and mortar brought in on bullock carts, and villagers pitching in wherever they could. Ravi supervised every aspect, from laying the foundation to painting the walls. His small savings were stretched thin, but his determination never wavered. By the time the school was ready, word had spread beyond Ramapur. Small donations began trickling in from neighboring villages, inspired by Ravi's dedication. The school, named Shiksha Sagar, Ocean of Learning, opened its doors with a simple ceremony. There were no grand speeches or elaborate decorations, just the eager faces of children stepping into a classroom for the first time. The school started with 20 students, ranging from ages 6 to 12. Ravi taught them everything: math, science, language, and even moral values. He used creative methods to make lessons engaging, often weaving stories and practical examples into his teaching. The children adored him, and their laughter filled the previously silent village. Challenges were plenty. Ravi had to juggle teaching with managing the school's operations. Supplies were often scarce, and he would walk miles to the town to procure books, chalk, and other essentials. Some days, he went without meals to save money for the school. But every time he saw a child solve a math problem or read their first sentence, it made all the sacrifices worthwhile. As the months turned into years, the impact of Shiksha Saga became evident. Children who once spent their days herding cattle or working in the fields were now dreaming of becoming doctors, engineers, and teachers. Parents, initially hesitant, began to take pride in their children's education. One day, a young man named Arun visited the school. Dressed in a crisp shirt and carrying a bag, he introduced himself as a teacher from a neighboring town. "I heard about this school and wanted to see it for myself," he said. Moved by Ravi's story, Arun offered to volunteer his time to teach. Slowly, more people joined the cause, and the school began to grow. One of the most emotional moments for Ravi came when a girl named Meera, who had once struggled to even write her name, stood before the class and recited a poem she had written. Tears welled up in Ravi's eyes as he realized how far the children had come. But as the school's success grew, so did its challenges. The building, originally built with limited funds, began to show signs of wear. The roof leaked during the monsoon, and there weren't enough desks or chairs for the increasing number of students. Ravi, now in his late 70s, knew he couldn't keep up with the physical and financial demands forever. It was during this time that a local journalist, visiting the village for a story, stumbled upon Shiksha Saga. Intrigued by Ravi's efforts, she wrote an article about the school, calling it a beacon of hope in the heart of rural India. The story went viral, reaching people far beyond the village. Donations began pouring in from all over the country. Alumni of Ravi's government school, who had gone on to become successful professionals, reached out to contribute. One former student, now a wealthy entrepreneur, offered to fund the construction of a new building for the school. Within months, Shiksha Saga transformed. The new building had sturdy walls, proper classrooms, and even a small library. The school's enrollment grew, and more qualified teachers joined the staff. Ravi, though frail, continued to teach, his passion undiminished. In his final years, Ravi often sat under the banyan tree, watching the children play and study. The school, which had started as a simple dream, was now a thriving institution, changing the lives of hundreds of children. When Ravi passed away peacefully in his sleep, the entire village mourned. But his legacy lived on. The school continued to flourish, and every year, the students celebrated Founders' Day in his honor. Ravi Sharma's story wasn't just about building a school. It was a testament to the power of one person's determination to make a difference. He proved that, even with limited resources, a single individual could change the future of an entire community. His life became an inspiration, reminding everyone that education is the greatest gift one can give.